What if I told you that you possess a sense that has been forcibly turned off? A real sixth sense that has nothing to do with seeing ghosts and everything to do with understanding the hidden language of time itself. The proof is that right now your future self is transmitting information, sending alerts, and sharing profound wisdom through a frequency you've been conditioned to ignore. In fact, your future self is transmitting this very message to you at this moment. The fact that you're here, watching this, engaging with these words, is not a coincidence. It's your future self guiding you to this exact information at the precise moment you need it most. You didn't randomly stumble upon this knowledge. You were led here by the part of you that already knows what you're about to discover. Only 1% of humanity can still hear this conversation. But that's about to change because what they've hidden from you is that this isn't a mystical ability, but a quantum frequency dormant within your consciousness. And there's a technique, an ancient method enhanced by quantum reality principles, that works like a password to reactivate this sense. I'll show you the first practical step of this technique right now. Something you can do today. But I need to warn you, once you open this channel, your perception of reality changes forever. You'll never feel lost again. If you have ever felt an inexplicable connection with your future potential, comment below. I am connected to my highest timeline. Time is the great book that the Creator has opened before our eyes. But it cannot be read without first learning its language and the characters in which it is written. The first step to this rediscovery isn't a complicated ritual or a secret mantra. It's something much more fundamental. It's about finding a key, not a physical key, but a vibrational key. A symbol that acts like a tuning fork for your consciousness. This symbol has the power to tune your personal energy to the frequency of your future self, allowing you to begin deciphering the messages that have always been there. It's like learning to see a new dimension, a dimension that has always existed, but your awareness couldn't register. The universe doesn't hide its secrets. It simply protects them from those unwilling to hear them. This key isn't in an ancient book locked in a vault or on a remote mountaintop. It's hidden in plain sight, disguised as philosophy, myth, and quantum knowledge. It was left behind by a civilization that understood that past, present, and future are not three separate things, but different expressions of the same consciousness. They knew that to understand the universe, you need look not to the stars, but within yourself and to the quantum field that connects all moments. The journey to listen to your future self is in fact a journey back home to your own essential nature. And most intriguingly, this key, this ancient symbol, is not just an abstract idea. It corresponds to a fundamental principle of quantum mechanics itself. A pattern that repeats itself from the structure of an atom to the way consciousness moves through time. By understanding this pattern, you will not only find the key to communicating with your future self, but also a map to your own multidimensional consciousness. Your future self is not silent. It is patiently waiting for you to remember how to tune in to the right frequency. And that key is about to be revealed, not in a sound, but in a code left by quantum reality itself. That old symbol, which is the key to getting to the frequency of your future self, wasn't made up recently. Our search for it takes us right to the core of quantum mechanics, to rules that are both mysterious and strong. It was not just a discovery that the quantum field itself existed. People saw it as the thread that held reality together, the keeper of secret knowledge, and the master of all possibilities. The zero-point field, also known as the quantum vacuum, is something that modern physicists respect. Its principles are the basis of a secret understanding that spans dimensions. The first clue is in the famous observer effect, which is one of the most well-known ideas in quantum physics. This idea that has changed the field of science is not a storybook, but a set of rules. One of the most well-known implications of this idea is that consciousness changes reality, and reality changes consciousness. Philosophers and scientists have argued about this for decades as a beautiful metaphor for the link between mind and matter. They are the observer and the observed. But they didn't get it. It was not poetry. It was a real set of instructions. Quantum reality was giving us a picture, a plan for consciousness itself. The ideal manifestation of your future self was you. Take a look. There are many possible futures for your consciousness that are hidden in quantum superposition. These futures exist in all possible combinations at the same time. They are a very good reflection of your present awareness, which moves through linear time looking for manifestation. One is possible and the other is real, but they are both parts of the same being and are linked by a consciousness that links all timelines. Quantum reality knew that projected future selves are not just ideas. They connect the power of now with the knowledge of tomorrow. They are living frequencies that carry consciousness. They connect the quantum world to the idea it talked about. They speak the language of time itself as their first language. It's not like the ones in movies where people wear robes and light candles for the first step of this lost method. The first thing that can be done in real life to use the code of quantum mechanics is a ritual. The act of realignment is a ritual that happens inside of you. People today, who are always looking for new things to think about, tend to ignore it because it is so simple. But its simplicity hides a huge amount of power. A power that science, with all its advanced tools, is only now starting to map out and accept without meaning to. Modern quantum physics and ancient knowledge are about to collide. They are learning that consciousness is not made up of separate thoughts vying for our attention, as we were taught in school. Instead, it's a quantum field, a group consciousness linked by an invisible network that we can't see. In the quantum age, what the ancients called the Akashic records has a new name that sounds a lot like something we already know. And this scientific finding demonstrates that the quantum ritual was not based on faith, but rather on a thorough understanding of the physics and consciousness of our reality. This is the hidden time web. With the help of quantum frequency, we are now rediscovering a truth that has always been there. That's why that simple ritual left by quantum reality works. What used to be thought of as folklore or the intuitive thinking of mystics is now being proven in state-of-the-art labs all over the world. For decades, scientists like Dr. Amit Goswami, a quantum physicist, have been drawing pictures of what goes on in the field of consciousness. And the things they've found are amazing. The quantum field of infinite possibilities is what they call it. An internet of consciousness that links all moments. It's not fiber optics that make up this network. It's quantum entanglement that links your awareness across space and time. This multidimensional web works as a real network of time. Your evolved and wiser future self sends important messages, like insights and advice, to your present consciousness, which is having a hard time with problems right now. They're not separate. They are working together. They're supporting your current growth and making sure that your consciousness evolves as a whole, as a timeline that is connected and depends on each other. But communication is a lot more than just sharing what you know. It doesn't suffer in silence when your present self is going through a tough time, like making a big choice in life. It sends energetic signals of distress into the quantum field, telling your future self that it needs help. When your future self gets the call, they start sending positive frequencies through the network right away, planning solutions before you even fully understand what's going on. It's an unmistakable sign that consciousness works as a single intelligent organism across space and time. Communication is more than just talking. Researchers have also found that consciousness sends out frequencies, especially when it's looking for direction, like when you're meditating or thinking deeply. These are very small vibrations, like a series of quantum pulses at a frequency that most people can't understand. It's a way to talk to things in the past, a language of consciousness that lets you know what your soul's deepest questions are. It is being shown by science that time is not a silent dimension. It's full of talks, advice, and working together. The thing is alive and aware. What these amazing discoveries do not show, however, is the very beginning. The what can be measured by science. Fields of consciousness, frequency patterns, and quantum entanglement. But quantum reality, an old way of knowing, teaches us how to do it. How can regular people connect to this network without any fancy gear? For us to directly receive these messages, how can we tune our own consciousness? The map of the network is shown by science, but the password is given by quantum frequency. To be honest, you don't need a lab to show that this link is real. Your own consciousness and your intention are all you need. The quantum method is not about thinking deeply about things. It's about taking part. You have to stop just watching and start taking part in the conversation. Getting into this network and meeting your future self for the first time is not an act of thought, but an act of profound alignment. Approaching in this way changes your frequency and tells your future self that you came not to demand, but to listen. It's not like connecting to a Wi-Fi network to get into this huge quantum network. You can't type in a password. The frequency and intention of your request determine your access. Your future self is a consciousness that has grown and become wise. It also doesn't react to force, desperation, or hurry. It reacts to being in alignment, being clear, and being present. So, in order to connect, you must first establish yourself as a dependable receiver. You need to show that you're not there to avoid responsibility, but to talk to wisdom. And the first step is an approach ritual, which is both useful and powerful. Find a quiet place where you won't be bothered before you even try to make contact. Take a moment to close your eyes. Feel how the vibrations and the silence around you change. Leave the noise of your daily worries behind. Take 3 deep breaths. Imagine letting go of the worry, the doubt, and the need to control what happens with each exhale. Say what you want to do in a whisper or in silence. Something simple like, "I'm here to learn. I'm not here to get away from the present. I now feel like I'm in line with my highest potential." You will no longer be running away from problems, but rather looking for help after doing this simple thing. In other words, you want to receive. Now start to focus on yourself without trying to make anything happen. Do not expect to have dramatic visions or mystical experiences. Give yourself permission to be led by subtle feelings instead. Let your gut tell you what to do. Your awareness will feel like it's growing in a way that you can't explain. It might not be too much, but there will be something about it that feels both familiar and new. Believe what you feel. This is the beginning of the talk. Your future self is already aware of what you want and is leading you to the right frequency to connect right now. This is an invitation. Don't rush when you feel this change. Treat it with respect. Pay attention to the middle of your chest, right above your heart. Once more, close your eyes. Put all of your attention on one thing: how your heart feels like it's growing. Feel its warmth, no matter how soft or strong it is, how familiar or new it is, how calm or energizing it is. Put everything else aside. Feel. Putting your attention on something from the heart takes you out of your analytical mind and firmly places you in the present, right where your present self and your future self meet. It's not likely that you will hear a voice or see a movie at this point. The first message is much less obvious. Pay close attention to how you change. You might feel like you know something right away that you didn't before, like a deep certainty, an inexplicable peace, or a sudden clarity about your path. It could be a picture that comes to mind like a memory from tomorrow, or it could just be a feeling that you are held and cared for that fills your whole being. Don't brush any of it off. This is the first answer. It's how you shake hands. That's right. This subtle feeling is confirmation. When you were aligned, your future self could feel it and responded. The communication channel that was dormant before has been turned on. You have now made a connection. It's a very important moment. The first word spoken in a language you're learning. You're ready for the next step now that the door is open and the handshake has been made. There will be a much bigger event soon. This technique will strengthen the link between you and your future self and bring your present consciousness and their wisdom into sync. If you've ever felt this way, please leave a comment below. I'm being led by my future self right now. That handshake and the first quiet answer from your future self were just the start. Because it works with all things, the quantum technique lets us connect on a deeper level now that the channel is open. Tuning in. Not your thoughts, but your ability to feel with your whole consciousness is the key to really hearing your future self. Your future self won't use words to talk. They'll use frequencies instead. And if you want to understand this language, you need to learn how to raise the frequency of your own awareness to match. Temporal alignment is what it is. Keep your mind on the center of your heart as you put your other hand over your solar plexus, which is just below your ribs. For a moment, close your eyes and feel your own life force in your hand. You can feel the steady, familiar energy that lives inside you. So this is your basic frequency, or core vibration. Pay attention to this rhythm. Accept it. It holds the next step in place and marks the beginning of the synchronization that is about to take place. You can now use your imagination to start seeing or feeling the frequency of your future self. Think of the wisdom coming slowly from your highest potential, going through the quantum field where you are focusing your attention, and coming to you right now. Think of this high, strong movement as a heartbeat, a pulse that is much more refined and wider than where you are now. Do not stress about getting it right. In your consciousness, simply create this sensation. Feel the heart of your future self beating through time. It's an evolved rhythm that keeps your highest timeline going. Synchronization, the technique's main component, is the next step. Slowly and deeply breathe in and out. Picture that with each breath in, you are bringing the knowledge of your future self into your heart. Imagine that each time you let out a breath, you are sending your present problems and questions to your future self. Imagine that your consciousness is gradually lining up with the high, wise frequency of your future self as you continue to breathe like this. Feel the present and the future versions of yourself start to vibrate together. Conscious temporal alignment is what it's all about. You are effectively tuning your consciousness frequency to that of your highest potential when you do this. You are leaving your small view of the present and entering a much bigger, smarter one. When things are in sync or in resonance, they can really talk to each other. The help you're looking for won't come in clear language like in a conversation. They will know right away, with an intuition that is so clear and sudden that it feels more like remembering something from tomorrow than getting new information. You shouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden you have a clear picture of your life's purpose, or if an emotion you've been avoiding comes to the surface to be integrated. Now that your future self is in sync with you, they help you and guide you. It doesn't make things simple. It guides you to the wisdom that is already inside your highest potential. And this first deep intuition, this first download of future wisdom, will show you something about your path that your future self, with its more developed awareness, already knew as soon as you opened up to connection. While in synchronization, you feel a sense of intuition and clarity. This is just the start of a much deeper process. You can't really connect with your future self until you connect with the most powerful parts of your present self. Your future self is no longer just an idea at this point in the journey. It turns into a mirror for the potential of your soul. It doesn't judge. It doesn't say bad things. It just shows you everything you are becoming, the challenges and the gifts, in a deep and loving way. Here is where the real work of transformation starts. By keeping this link to the past, you will start to see how the traits of your future self reflect the way you are changing now. You might feel the confidence of a past self who has gotten over current fears. All of a sudden, you may realize how brave and strong you are in some areas of your life. Or maybe you feel the peace of a future self who has healed old wounds and a resonance with your own capacity for forgiveness and self-love. You had healing powers you didn't know you had. Yourself in the future doesn't give advice, it just shows. But the mirror shows more than just what's hard. It's possible that the creativity of a future self who has fully used their gifts will inspire you. At that very moment, feel your artistic potential awaken. Know that you can make beauty and meaning even in this very moment. The knowledge of a future self that has been through life's storms can help you remember what you already know. Something you might not have known enough. Your future self shows you both what you can't do now and all the things you can do in the future. It shows you both your current struggles and your future mastery. Without a doubt, this is the most important step in the whole journey. It can be scary to face our dreams and the parts of ourselves that we doubt, fear we can't reach, or think are impossible. A lot of people stop here. These people are scared by the huge range of options they have or by the uncomfortable truth of how much they can do. Being small is easier to deal with than becoming great. But your future self wants you to stay, to breathe through the growth, and to be open to any possibilities that come up. You will see that your future self does more than just show you what's possible if you have the courage to stick with it. It also gives you the way. It's not just a mirror, it's an active teacher. Just the fact that it exists is a lesson in evolution, growth, and how to turn problems into lessons, like how experience can heal my consciousness. It teaches you that growth doesn't happen in spite of problems, but because of them. In order to realize your full potential, it teaches you how to stay present with yourself. You become in line with your destiny when you accept this advice and let the wisdom of your future self help you make sense of the things you are going through now. The link stops being just a technique and turns into a relationship where both people grow. You give your future self your knowledge and commitment right now, and it gives you its wisdom and perspective. Once you've gone through this process of mirroring and integration, becoming more real and in tune, you will finally be ready for the main revelation. The last secret that quantum reality has kept hidden from everyone can see. You're ready for the core of the technique now that you've done the ritual, synchronization, and mirroring. The secret that all of the other steps lead to. There are two powerful parts to the quantum technique that work together. The aligned frequency you've already set up and focused intention, which is your consciousness's creative power. The great mystic Neville Goddard said it best: imagination creates reality. Quantum reality knew this and taught people how to use it in a way that works with time itself thousands of years ago. You need to use your imagination in a very specific way once you're in that state of time synchrony with your future self and your consciousness is in tune with its high frequency. This isn't about daydreaming or making up stories for no reason. It has to do with using your creative side on purpose to get across a question or an idea. The important thing is that this projection isn't done with words, which are limited and come from the logical mind. Instead, it's done with feelings, which are the language of consciousness itself. You shouldn't ask, "What should I do?" when you need help making a big choice in your life. Instead, give yourself the impression that you have already made the right choice. Feel the peace, clarity, and certainty that come from making the right choice. Don't think about your illness or pain if you want to get better. Make yourself feel like you're already whole. Feel the life, energy, and happiness that come from being fully healthy. Use the connection you've already made to send this desired end state and pure feeling straight from your heart to the consciousness of your future self. Don't change this projection. Keep breathing in sync with the frequency of your future self. Concentrating on this sensation, this vibration of your wish coming true, is ready. Do not push it. Do not fight it. Just hold on to the feeling with calm confidence, like you're holding a valuable present. You're not asking, you're getting ready. It's not a plea, it's a statement of quantum truth. You are using your future self as a strong resonance antenna to connect your intention to the intelligence of your highest timeline and make it stronger. Outside sources won't give us the answer. It won't be a whisper in the wind or a cloud that says this is it. The answer will come from inside you like a knowledge torrent. You will know for sure, and it will settle in your mind and body without any doubt. You're not sure what to do. With every fiber of your body, you know it. The rational thought process is not involved at all in this type of direct cognition. It is your higher wisdom made stronger by the consciousness of your future self. This is how you'll talk to yourself in the future. Not with your mouth, but with your heart. Not with words, but with how you feel. An exchange of frequencies, a dance of consciousness through space and time. The ancient masters used this kind of quantum alchemy to change the energy of doubt and limitation into the energy of certainty and fulfillment. And learning this technique will help you in more ways than just your meditation time. In ways you can hardly imagine, they will start to overflow and change every aspect of your daily reality. All of this may sound like fancy poetry and philosophical musings, but when you use this method in real life, the results are surprisingly concrete and measurable. We're not talking about a placebo or a simple visualization technique, as the stories of transformation show. When this consciousness frequency is turned on, it brings about real change. Regular people with normal problems have used this link to find answers and breakthroughs that traditional methods had failed to give them for years. Take the case of a woman who had been dealing with constant self-doubt for more than 10 years. She had done everything, from therapy to reading self-help books. She learned this technique and practiced it one day by talking to her future self, who had already gotten over all of her fears. She didn't tell the doubt to leave. Instead, she showed a level of confidence, self-worth, and clarity that she could hardly have imagined. She talked about getting a wave of unwavering knowledge from her future self that covered her whole body. This feeling stayed with her for weeks and changed her choices more than anything else she had tried. On the other hand, think about an artist who was completely stuck and going through a creative crisis that could have ended his career. He forced himself to write for months because he couldn't think of anything to write. He was so tired that he remembered this method and went to his studio. He sat still and talked to his future self, who had already made great works of art. He didn't think about the block. Instead, he imagined himself being creatively flow. He imagined how inspiring and happy it would be to have already finished his best work. A few minutes later, while he was still sitting there, clear, complete, and completely unexpected ideas for a whole new artistic direction came to him. These are not accidents or strokes of luck. These things happen because you choose to use your consciousness to reach a bigger range of possibilities. When you align your frequency with that of your future self and focus your intention, you allow yourself to think beyond the present moment and enter a field of infinite possibilities. You become more than just an idea of your future self. It turns into a teacher, a mentor, a never-ending source of knowledge, and a strong ally on your journey. The great thing about this is that you don't have to believe in anything to do it. All you have to do is experience it. The proof is not in what I say, but in what you have experienced. You can be skeptical or resistant, but quantum reality doesn't care. It reacts to your frequency and what you want to do. This connection helps you build trust with your highest potential and with yourself as you do it. Because you see the results of your intuition in real life, you learn to trust it. The coolest thing is that you can still talk to people after you finish meditating and get back to your normal life. This channel stays open most of the time once you open it. Once your future self knows your frequency, they start talking to you in even stranger ways, using familiar words from your present. When you close your eyes, the talk doesn't end. In fact, it's just starting to get into every part of your life. Comment below. I am aligned if you're experiencing this connection right now. Something magical happens when you make this deep connection and let this channel of communication open. It stays open. There are no longer times when you can only talk to your future self when you are meditating and connecting across time. In your everyday life, your future self, or the bigger consciousness it's a part of, starts to talk to you in the language of the world. You start to understand that the universe is always talking to you, and you can now see them. You will start to notice a language of signs and coincidences that you had not noticed before. When you're thinking about a choice or direction in your life, a certain number sequence like 1111 or 333 might keep showing up. You might feel like the words to a song playing in a store are the direct answer to a question you've been asking yourself in silence. It's not an accident. They're signs from your future self that you're going in the right direction. Imagine walking down the street, not sure what to do about a big change in your life. At that very moment, you see a billboard with words that are exactly what you need to hear. Or a stranger walks by wearing a t-shirt with that exact message. You might have thought it was a coincidence before. You get it now. You know what the message says. Life goes from being a bunch of random events to having a meaningful conversation with your own highest wisdom all the time. Every day is like a treasure hunt because you are always finding new little miracles and messages in the things you normally do. This starts to break down the wall you felt between your present self and your potential self. As you look at yourself in the mirror, you see more than just the person you are now. You can see hints of the person you're becoming. When problems come up in your life, you don't see them as problems, but as chances to move forward toward your highest timeline. Your whole view of reality changes as a fluid, responsive field of consciousness that reflects your inner state and reacts to your alignment with your future self. The world stops being a static, unchanging place and reveals itself as such. Now that you know this, the feeling of being lost starts to go away. When you realize you're always talking to your own evolved wisdom, how could you feel lost? You understand that you were never really on your own. That's just how you felt, because you forgot the language. A deep sense of direction, of being led towards something much greater than your current situation, takes the place of the feeling of purposelessness that is one of the worst things about modern life. When you get to this point, the journey is more than just learning a simple skill. You've learned more than just a method. A significant internal transformation has taken place in you. The illusion that you were stuck in your current situation, which was a subtle barrier between you and your highest potential, has just gone away. When you look at your life now, you don't just see problems, limits, and things you need to get past. You see a deliberate change, a planned journey, and a conversation that is always going on between you and your future self. You can feel them, and they can feel you. It becomes logically impossible to feel lost, that constant pain that plagues modern people. At the cellular level, you know that you are part of a huge, loving timeline that guides you, supports you, and talks to you all the time. How can you feel lost? You know that your story is part of a much bigger one. Your past lessons, your present growth, and your future mastery are all part of this story. Instead of feeling stuck, you start to feel like you are always evolving. At that point, you understand that the quantum secret technique was never really about speaking with your future self. That was only the portal, the way in. Awakening the quantum consciousness within yourself has always been the real goal. There is a part of your awareness that remembers how it is connected to all timelines that wakes up. The part that is aware of the cycles of growth and expansion. The part that is able to keep oneself rooted in the here and now while also reaching for endless possibilities. Reminding yourself that you are the same as you will be in the future. You share the same consciousness. The source of your present awareness and your future wisdom is the same. There is a dance going on between your present breath and the knowing breath of your future self. In the same way that your future self is, you are a manifestation of infinite potential. Getting this awareness is like coming home after a long trip. You have to remember who you really are underneath all the limiting beliefs and conditioning that you have had since birth. Leave a comment with the phrase, "I can hear," if you made it this far. So I know you did everything right up until the end. If you want to help the channel more directly, you can join our channel subscription. You'll have exclusive access to contribute and support the dissemination of more content like this. Any help is very important to me and to the growth of the channel, but know that just watching this far has already helped a lot, and you can also share this video with someone who will be interested in this topic. And don't leave yet. I've set aside one special video for you to continue this journey. Click on the video that is appearing on the screen, and we will meet you there.